Hi, it's my absolute pleasure to have a quick chat with Karen Cross from Dorchester on the beach. Beautiful apartments, three-bedroom apartments and lovely penthouses right on the beach at the Gold Coast. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Liz.
I've known Karen for a long time now. She's a real leading light in the industry, and I really want to tap into her experience during COVID and share some of those insights with you. Karen has been working in the industry for over 35 years, has worked running big hotels and attractions internationally and nationally. And I first met Karen and her business partner and husband, Michael, when they were managing these lovely boutique cottages in the rainforest in the Sunshine Coast hinterland, Narrows Escape Rainforest Retreat. And I was really impressed with what they were doing there, and went on to see they and the lovely owners go on and win multiple tourism awards at that business. And then we've stayed in touch, and Karen has been an active participant in Tourism Tribe. And Karen, you're one of those people who uses the resources around you as much as you can. And I thought maybe I know we're only going to have a quick chat today, but I'm sure that people would love to hear just a tiny bit about Dorchester and why you do love this business so much, and why you're fighting so hard to keep it going during COVID. So what do you love about the Dorchester?
Well, we love that we love owning management rights and managing the business because we really get a buzz out of providing high quality family beachfront holidays to our guests. We really specialize in the family market. We have large three-bedroom apartments that are right on the beach with large living rooms and dining rooms and kitchen areas. And there's 2 apartments per floor with no shared walls. We just live in one of the most beautiful places in the world on the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, and it's right on the beach.
I know, you've got those gorgeous views up and down the beach, just incredible. So what I wanted to ask is just a few questions to share with our audience, because to me, there's so many great things about you, and when you interact with other tourism operators, how generous you are with your experience. And I thought I want to share that a little bit more broadly. So I've just got a few questions to ask you. The first one I wanted to ask you is, when we think back to, this awful roller coaster ride that we've all been on, with COVID, what was one of the first most important things that you think those actions that you took at the beginning of COVID that has had a positive impact on your journey with COVID so far?
Well, Liz, thank you. One of the most important things we did, we immediately started following all the recommendations from Queensland Health, and we implemented an elevated hygiene practice from check-in to check-out. And I put that on our website, and I learned this from actually taking your 12-week course on Tourism Tribe. Okay, we also made key decisions to provide full refunds to our guests that needed to cancel due to the pandemic. Okay, and this was a really, really important decision because it provided the guests with great comfort, knowing that we would return their money or push their booking to another date if they would prefer that. There was a lot of confusion at that time in the marketplace with other companies. So that was one of the key, most important steps to give greater comfort to our guests at that time. And that has caused most of our guests to return and want to rebook later in the year, which is fantastic.
Yeah, so that trust you just gave them, they gave them a reason to trust you right at the beginning. And I remember you telling us on some virtual, we were having the virtual drinks really regularly at that time, just to try to help to keep people a little bit sane, how you had to really fight with the bank to get them to give you the ability to refund through your FPOS, wasn't it? That was quite a challenge to get that to happen.
Yes, it was. We also, so the other great big thing that we had to do was we spoke to the bank in early March to discuss with them our options with our loans. And of course, at this point in time, everything is hibernated, and we are incredibly grateful for that. But yes, we had to we had to have the bank work and change their processes on the type of refunds and the number of refunds that they were allowed to do each day. So they actually had to change their processes rather quickly as well. And we were one of the leaders that helped get that in place.
Mm, mm.
for others later.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's just a testament to your leadership again, that you just pushed forward and you didn't wait for something to happen. So well done, you.
Thanks.
I want to ask you about marketing or service approaches. What do you think have been I know you've made a lot of changes and you've been really dynamic with that. What do you think has been the most helpful for your guests and for your business in terms of the changes that you've made?
Well, one of the big ones was ensuring that we put our COVID policy in place, put it on our website, put it on all our communications to all our guests, all our newsletters, blogs, and social posts. That was a really big deal. And then I had a lot of guests calling me, so it was a matter of chatting to them about what we're doing as well, making them feel comfortable, just talking and saying what we are doing. Also, I was a first mover. We purchased a fogger early on in March, and we found the most suitable product to use to protect our building and our rooms. We use a product called Zuno. We personalized, I changed a lot of things on our website and also in my marketing. I made it more personal. It was all about Michael and Karen taking care of your family coming to stay at the Dorchester, that we live on site in apartment number 1, that we're here to serve them, that we're doing everything possible to implement a safe business and cleaning, putting in place cleaning practices. I also highlighted that our cleaning team are the same cleaning team that are here all the time. They're not switching from different hotels or anything. It's just at the Dorchester. The same with our security that comes in through the night. There's just one security person that has been running this building and working this building for 12 years. We also, in a marketing perspective, we adjusted our packages. We looked long into the future. I thought 3 months would be long enough, but about 2.5 months in, I adjusted the pricing structure to go for a 20% discount all the way through to the 10th of December on all bookings, on all 3 types of our accommodation. I also worked really closely with Destination Gold Coast. They are our local tourism body, and I became incredibly involved with all of their promotions. I updated all my work and my photos and my wording in the ATTW site. I also went on to the TEQ sites and listened to everything and implemented all the processes and procedures and updated my COVID-19 manuals so that I could be a good to go property and have that new image put on my ATTW site. I'm doing everything possible. I'm currently working with the ATEC site as well for my inbound market.
Mm-hmm.
So separate from that, Liz, I adjusted my target markets. I really drilled down, and this is again what I learned a lot from in our tourism tribe, to really focus on the markets that are going to fire to the Gold Coast, to our business.
Mm-hmm.
So I really learned that from you and Fabi. You know, we have very specific markets. And
you had a lot out of New Zealand, didn't you, and down south, and
yes.
Yeah, so you've had to really localize your marketing?
70% of our business is Australia, and 30% was international. So our international market has fallen away, and our domestic market, well, during the winter months, is definitely Victoria, New South Wales, with a bit of Queensland coming through. So I had to readjust my markets. These markets are going to come, and I still will put beautiful photos up for the dreaming of and planning of holidays in the future, because I know everyone wants to come without a doubt. They're on the phone in tears talking to me. But I've streamlined our target markets for the 4-hour self-drive market, good to go Queensland market.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still implementing it. You know, it's not something you can just automatically do really quickly.
Yep.
I've been targeting our younger family market, traveling with grandparents, because they love to come for the quintessential beachfront holiday on the Gold Coast. I've been working with developing the empty nester traveling market, and that includes the parents that are my age, let's say 58 through 75, and they travel with their extended family, which is their older children and their grandchildren, and they book multiple apartments, 2 or 3 at a time, for 3 to 6 days or a 7-night stay. Also, this weekend, for example, I've picked up quite a few people coming in from the Brisbane market, which is women traveling for a little getaway, mothers and daughters, ladies like us just wanting to get away for 4 days or 3 days just to have some champagne, some cheese, to sit out on the balcony and just chill after having such a stressful time. The Yummy Mummy market is another area. And in the men's side, I would say the men's group for 4 people may be getting away to play golf. Michael, as you know, is a keen golfer, and we've been developing that market slowly but surely. But it is that 4-hour self-drive market that we're talking about, from Toowoomba, Brisbane, Sunshine Coast, and a little bit further away. It's amazing who's coming.
So that's a great case study in having gone, okay, who can travel? What are those markets? Not just thinking of it as a geographical market, but then dropping down into life segment type markets, sub-markets, and going, okay, what's their reason for travel? Okay, I'm going to tap into that. And I think the adjustments I've seen you make over the last few months to your imagery, photography, I can see that you're using, you know, I can see those markets represented in there. So that's really great what you're doing there. So that's the positive thing you can be doing, isn't it? To try to help your business to adapt to this really uncertain marketplace where we don't know what travel restrictions are going to happen. So you've sort of got your eye on the long term with the dream plan phases of what you're doing. You're doing your work with your trade to keep them, you know, for where they can supply domestic travellers, and you're really focused on that direct business coming in from that local market. That's great. Obviously, it's a super stressful time, not a lot of sleep, very hard work, lots of future uncertainty. What are you doing to remain positive? I know you as an incredibly positive person. I know you as a very resilient and generous person. What are you doing to keep it together, Karen? Are there any secret sauce tips you can share with our audience?
Well, the great big one, Liz, and you've taught me this because we've chatted over time, is to take a deep breath. So every time you have a difficult situation, take a deep breath. And I guess the other big one is be kind to one another every day. So Michael and I work together 24/7, and it can be difficult during these times, but we have to just step back and be kind to one another. These times are tough. I guess another thing to do is admit and accept that, you know, it's not your fault. We're all in this together, and we will move forward. One of the great things that I actually really did do is to be an early mover, and I signed up for the Tourism Tribe 12-week course because I am a person that has to try and focus on something. And I can tell you it's been really hard to focus and get things done, and I love to complete things. But I'm so grateful that I did sign up and do this 12-week course. Even if I didn't complete every single module, I'm working on it still. It gives me something to focus on, and the topics are excellent.
Oh, thank you. And I wasn't, you know, I don't need you to plug it, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That was what we put it together for, was to provide an immediate solution to operators who had gone into lockdown so that we could help to keep them motivated and positive, use the time for upskilling and connect them to each other, which you did really well because you started connecting to other participants from other parts of Australia, which was great.
And that has been the greatest thing for me, through the learning and forcing myself just to try and do one topic at a time, listen in, be focused. I've met the most amazing people around Australia and around the world on a Friday night's drinking session where we just get together for 40 minutes and just chat about how's our week gone, to just chatting about like I'll sometimes call a colleague up in Bowen, Jackie, just to say hi and see how she's going, because we share a lot of similar business requirements in our area. The other thing that I have found, yes, I've drunk way too much red wine, and I've eaten way too much chocolate and cheese when I feel stressed. That's my go-to area. So yes, it's normal to feel that way. But I find that it's really important to also take time to go for a walk, to sit quietly, to look at your favorite view, and
Yeah.
to also just one of the things when my mind just gets so busy is I actually have to stop and physically read a book for an hour or something just to make my mind switch off. So that might be something that's helpful. I didn't do it early on in the piece, and I found it helpful as we continue on and it progresses forward in this environment. But
Yeah.
most importantly, Liz, I would suggest that just staying open and communicating with your family, your friends, and your colleagues. We're all in this together, and so just keep communicating and being open.
Oh, that's such great advice. You know, looking after yourself, looking after each other, accepting, you know, and sitting back to accept. And you know, I think you're having confidence in yourself. You know, you've been a good business person. You've hit other challenges before, now drawing on that experience, but also drawing on that confidence to say that, yeah, we won't get it right all the time and something different will get thrown at us, but we will keep adapting. And sometimes we might fall in a bit of a heap, but we'll come through that. And that would be completely normal given what our nervous systems are going through, and particularly you guys as tourism operators, and the stresses that you're feeling. But knowing that we're all here to support each other, and you know, like you, I always welcome if people want to have a chat anytime, because I know you've been very generous with that too, Karen, that other tourism operators, so you've welcomed them to pick up the phone and have a chat with you, just to know that somebody else is going through the same thing, and just to be a sounding board.
Yeah, by all means, anyone can call me anytime. I'm here for them.
Good on you. Well, I don't want to take any more of your time. All of that has been so valuable, and I could chat and listen to you for ages. Um, but I'll let you go. And thanks so much for sharing those thoughts, Karen, with our people who are going to be listening to this. I think they'll find it really useful.
It's an absolute pleasure, and I wish everyone well.
Thanks, Karen. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.